Good afternoon, everybody. Uh, Welcome to our webinar on Google Analytics, brought to you in association with our expert panelists from Tattvik Analytics. As we approach the sunset of GA3 and user analytics, I'm sure all of us have questions around what GA4 offers, how it differs from GA3, and how publishers can leverage all of GA4's potential. This webinar will consist of three portions. Tattvik's team has put together a presentation around GA4 specific to publishers. Post that, we will then address questions that came in through the survey we conducted a few weeks ago. We'll have all of those questions answered, followed by other questions that Jim is curating from the audience through this webinar. Before I introduce our panelists, please note, you may post questions throughout the duration of the webinar. Jim will curate these questions for the third portion. Any questions left unaddressed at the end of the webinar will be responded to via email. We will also be sharing a recording of this webinar with all invitees. Our panelists from Tattvik, I'm honored to introduce Abhijit Kaku, who's the head of data analytics and insights at Tattvik Analytics. We also have Vilendra, who's an expert on Google Analytics. And we have Maulin from Tattvik's client-facing team. They're all in one room. I invite Abhijit to take over from here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Aditya. So hi, everyone, and very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And I'll take off this webinar session for today, where will be going to discuss about the GA4 and how it can impact publishers and how they can leverage the data that is collected in GA4 and how do we take it ahead to generate insights, activate them, and take it ahead to make some informed decisions on this. Right. So as we know, data-driven decisions are vital in helping the businesses grow the right way, right? And as the analytics enthusiast and as the marketeers or as the managers, we love data. We look at year over year or quarter by quarter data to back changes, design some strategies and other things. So now in this next generation of GA4, which is capable of helping you all, and there are much more information and much more data leverage that we can take to get the most out of it. So I know the enthusiasm that we all have for GA4 and how it can impact our lives. So I know the excitement about it. So let's not wait, and I'll start off with today's session. So just to give you an information on the discussion team. So my name is Abhijit. I head the data analysis and insights team at Tattvik. Along with me, we have Vilendra. He's a senior customer success manager in the same team. We have a rich experience working in telecom, healthcare, publishers, e-commerce. And we day in and day out work with our clients to help them leverage the GA4 data, right? So just wanted to give a quick introduction to what my team does. We put day in and day out work on GA4 implementations along with the data analysis that we can take from GA4 data and impact clients' lives so they can take best out of the data from GA4 and leverage it further, right? So I'll start off with this. So as we know that we live in the world of data and GA4 has most to offer. So we have tried to keep the topics and outlines very straight, interesting, and also easy to understand. So as a part of this session, we will cover the changing measurement and data ecosystem, right? The capabilities of GA4. Then we'll also have a quick intro. And then we'll go forward with the live Q&As. There are some feedback sessions, probably you have shared some questions. So we'll take off that as well. There are probably 8-9 questions that we are going to cover. And post that, we can also have a live Q&A 5-10-minute session to take it further there, right? So just to set up context, we have, as in publishers industry, we have certain objectives. The KPIs that we majorly follow are, we need to increase the article page views, article engagement, need to increase the ad revenues, you need to increase the article likes and shares, right? Increase in platform-based revenue. We are more on web and app both, right? So we need to increase the platform-based revenue as well. If desktop is working or web version is working well, we need to come up on the app platforms as well. So we need to have some increase in the platform-based revenue, which eventually increases the overall one. And at the last but not the most important is the increase in ROI through the accurate attribution as well. So we must be aware of such scenarios where the direct is attributing something, paid is attributing something, which is the right way to look at the data. So these are the main industry objectives, and GA4 can surely help you out solve all these queries and get the most out of the data. So we'll start off with why GA4 as the first point. So now as we know that we live in a world where now we'll have more reliability on the first party data. Now there is a rising user expectations on privacy as well, which has impacted the ecosystem, right? So we need to be more reliant on the first party data. We'll have less of third party data. And since it is going, and in a world where the user keeps on switching his platform from web to app or changes his devices from mobile to desktop or desktop to mobile, so how are we going to do all of that? So it also means that a reliance on the first party data, getting the modeled data and the aggregated measurement is going to increase actually day by day, right? So in short, if I say we need to get future proof, and as I just mentioned that the cookies as a means of tracking user behavior is now coming to an end, right? We have to be more relied on the first party data, which is available directly and not to the consented parties and other related cookies. So just that is what we need to be on a future proof, that we have to be the future is now consented, it's modeled, we'll have more modeled data. Reliance on first party data will be more required as of now. So this is what the timeline of GA4 looks like. As of now, we need to adapt to GA4 ASAP, because by the end of this month or July 1st, 2023, UA is going to stop processing the hits. We will have to rely on GA4. We need to migrate to GA4 from Jan 1. By Jan 1, 2024, UA 360 will also stop processing hits in UA, and by July 2024, the read-only access from UA will also get revoked. So we'll just have the read-only access onto UA, but yes, will not be collecting data for the next 1 year on the universal analytics. So there are some challenges that I'm sure that is going to come up when we have GA4 and by UA going out of the scene. So there are going to be a solution, and we need a solution to address the challenges. What are the challenges? So according to a recent survey that we had conducted internally as well, was the major challenges when GA4 will come up, or when UA will go away and we'll have more dependency on the first party data. We will have some questions around how we'll do a cross-platform analytics. How is going to predictive analytics work like? How will I come up with a customer journey? And how will I also activate the media part, like exporting audiences from GA4 to Google Ads or DV or Ad Manager? How am I going to do that? And that too, even after protecting the user privacy. So that is something that we will need to address that. Cross-platform analytics, if I say, it is users moving from web to app to web. UA had separate interactions and separate data collection for both of those users, right? But GA4 comes up with that solution that it can provide you a cross-platform analytics. There are some customer journeys that you can now track because of web and app platform. So there are going to be some challenges that will be come across, and that too will have to protect the user privacy, because that's the utmost thing that is the need of the hour into this industry. So there are some challenges that Wilendra, if you would like to address those, that how GA4 will come up with those challenges and how is going to address that. So Wilendra will take it forward and help us understand how this will impact our lives.
Surely. So as mentioned by Abhijit, that there are few challenges such as cross-platform analytics, predictive analytics, and customer journeys, tracking the customer journey throughout the website and across the devices. Is GA4 prepared to provide us these advanced solutions? So to answer your queries, yes. So basically, Google Analytics offer these 4-way solutions. In this cycle, we will going to discuss that how Google Analytics will help us to answer these challenges. The first is that the collect and measure. So Google Analytics is built in such a way that it will help us to create data on the event-based, and with this event-based model, we will be able to track the journeys across web and app. The second step of this cycle is that once we have this data, we were able to collect the data. How will we be able to analyze this? Yes, so the Google Analytics provide the machine learning setups which surfaces powerful insights to us. So now if there is any anomaly in your data, Google Analytics will help us to identify that anomaly. Not just that, it will also provide us the recommendation to how to resolve this. If there is any predictive analysis which you need to do, that if certain users are landing on my website for a particular time period, will they be able to subscribe my channel or not, or my publishing website or not? All these questions will now be able to answer with Google Analytics. Once we have these analysis and once we have these all data flowing in GA, the next question arises that will I be able to integrate my data with cross platforms? So yes, Google Analytics again provide us the advantage to integrate with Google Ads, DV360, so that now once you have your user base, data for your user base, which are getting captured through GA4, we will be able to map that how these users are bringing us the revenue, what are the, the ROI which we are getting from our users. So once we have that, then based on the next part of the cycle, which comes is that activate our insights. Once we have these, insights and integration in place, we will be able to, activate based on the insights, we'll be activate our data. We'll create audiences across platforms, and we'll be able to leverage our position by targeting them through across platforms.
Right. So if you look at this complete cycle, it gives you, GA4 now offers you the actual solutions that we need. The first step is collect the data. Second step is use machine learning to analyze the data. Then since it is a part of Google ecosystem, you already have everything into place, integrate everything. And then finally, once you have integrated, activate and get some insights out of it so that you can leverage your integrations and and have more activated insights and audiences so that you can target accordingly and increase more revenue as well.
So let's detail and discuss that how Google Analytics help in collect and measure the data first. So while implementing the events on our website, we always have in back of our mind that we need to track major KPIs of our website, which needs to be in place in form of data so that we can take the advanced decision or the supported data backed decision, which help us to grow in terms of revenue, grow in terms of users, and achieve more heights with the help of data. So there is a safety of automatically collected events which is provided by GA. So there are a few sets of events which GA automatically collects once you run the basic script of GA on your backend. So there is no need to provide this custom scripts for those events, such as first visit, session start, and user engagement metrics. And there's another level to it, which is we call this enhanced measurement event. So whether users are coming on your website and are searching for anything on the website, that all can be covered in site search. So before implementing the custom events, there are default events and automatically collected events which GA4 provides, which will help us to track data in in just one click. In just one toggle, you will be able to collect all these data. Not just that, based on your industry, GA4 also provides few list of recommended events which you can directly get or align through with your data with the help of GA data source. So there is a recommended event for retailers, e-commerce, publishers, educational, and real estate. Once we have all these three in place, and if there is any custom requirement left to get the data in place and to have the accurate analysis of the data, we can have the custom implementation of the event, such as article clicks, scroll depth, and subscription. So now with these all four solutions provided by GA in terms of data collection, just in terms of data collection, we are able to get more rich data in very few steps and short steps. So while setting up the data tracking, or we say data measurement, we need to have few things in check. So check if the events that you want to track is among the automatically collected event or not. If yes, then you can continue with that. If not, then check for the events are mentioned in the enhanced measurement or not. If these both covers all your data requirement, then there is no need to implement custom events. If not, then you can switch to recommended events, and post that you can work on the custom events for having the detailed and rich data. To implement custom events, we need to run few scripts and have to configure the custom dimension and metrics on the Google Analytics. Now, once you have this data coming across through different platforms and different devices, what the major question arises is that will I be able to differentiate my user across platform? Will I be able to track the user journey of a particular user when it started from the app on a mobile and then it converted on the website, right, on the laptop or your PC? So did Google Analytics provide these kind of facilitation to us that we will be able to track these data across platforms and devices? So yes, it provided us the so with the help of tracking the data through web streams and app stream, we will collectively able to analyze the data of our users across platform and devices and unify the user journey. So now with the help of Google Analytics, I'll be able to track if a user started from from an app viewing articles on my app, and then it switches to website or web, and then it subscribed to my channel. So all these things will be able to cover with the help of Google Analytics. And to bifurcate my users, Google provide us with these three different user identifier. The first is user ID, which uses user unique persistent ID. If not, then it uses Google signals, which help us to analyze users based on demographic and interest level. And then there is a device ID. So basically, with the help of device ID, it will be able to unify the user journey. So with the help of device ID, it will generate the cookie ID, which get tracked in GA4, and with that, we will be able to track the users across platform.
Okay, super. So just wanted to give a quick context here again is, so now how do we deduplicate and have a unification of unification of the users? There are 3 steps that GA does this. Is first by checking the user ID, then check the Google signals. We have to make sure that Google signals are enabled into GA4. And at the end, we also can use device IDs, which is the analytical cookies for web or app or mobile app ID, and post which you can unify the users and track their customer journeys, right? So we have now covered 2 steps of how do we do this. Is the collect and measure was the first step, and now we are coming up onto the analyze for the insights, right? Now, how do we collect and analyze the data, right? We have now collected the data. When we have collected the data, GA4 comes up with some robust new features, which is it provides us unsampled data. It has custom reporting, it has machine learning, and it gives you a proper attribution. So now it increases the access to the insights because now you have more data. Because we have, if you look at the default reports, you will be able to get unsampled data there itself. Custom reporting, you can have a feature of edit reports, events, and audiences. Machine learning, you can get some insights, and data-driven attribution gives you more robust attribution of your users' channels and conversions. Now, this is how UI looks like into when we look at GA4. It is more visually appealing when we compare it with UA. It has a flexible drag and drop interface. You can use some advanced analytics techniques such as cohort exploration. It has funnel exploration. It has pathing exploration. One thing that I wanted to highlight here is that we can get a reverse pathing exploration available as well. So you can drill down to your content as well, like what users are looking at your reports. What users are looking into your articles, how they're browsing on the website. If you have a conversion like subscription is the end goal, then what are they doing before the subscription happens? So you can take some insights and make some data-driven decisions based out of that. So there are some default available UI for those kind of custom reporting available. So you can take some action directly from there. And you can also create segments and audiences from an analysis that we have done from GA4 and then migrate it to some other Google ecosystem tools as well. So when I so this was about the UI, how it looks and what are the features that are available. Now, what do I do of those features? Now, GA4 uses some analytics intelligence, which we call AI, which has first, it gives you some insights, directly fetches your data, understands what are the insights. If I try to give it an example here, that if there's a certain spike of users or a page views that has happened, and now that is an insight. Anomaly is when they share the data with you, when there are some triggers which are set, and now you are getting some alert there that hey, we have recently observed an anomaly into your data that users have spiked suddenly. So that is something which is anomaly detection. And apart from that, once you know that there is an anomaly, GA4 will also help you out with getting a contribution analysis as well, that why it actually triggered, why this sudden spike happened, and why this anomaly occurred. So a complete cycle gets covered, that you get insights, you get anomaly, you get some analysis, so that you can take action directly from there and there. So that is how the analyze for insight stage happens. Now I'm coming on to the integration of the data, right? So when I say integration of your data, now since you have collected all the data, now you are able to get it into that stage where you can have a centralized data. You integrate them, you reach across the users through different platforms, devices, have some media integration, get into Google Ad Manager, Google Ads. You can actually optimize your ROI, and you can also track campaigns. So when I talk about tracking campaigns, it is about the UTMs are still there. Like if you're using UTMs already, you might be aware of it. If not, then there is UTMs you can track and have some campaigns around it, so that you can track that UTM source medium campaigns into your GA4 and get some actions directly from there. So you'll be able to get some accurate tracking of campaigns through UTMs, and that can be done through integration of all your data coming together. Now, these are a few of the new integrations which are available for reporting. Virendra, will you like to take this one?
Yeah. So with help of GA4, we will be able to integrate with different sources of Google ecosystem, different tools of the Google ecosystem, such as Google Ads, Ad Manager, BigQuery, DV360, Merchant Center, Search Ads, and BW. So as we all know that Google Optimize is now in a verge of sunset, and we all need a tool for the A/B test to run our CRO projects more smoothly, to run our A/B test and variants. So for that, Google has partnered with VWO, so that now from going forward, we will be able to integrate easily with VWO, and we will be able to analyze the data for all our A/B tests in the Google Analytics itself.
Super. Yeah. So we have an alternative for Optimizer as well, that we can do A/B testing through VWO. Apart from that, you have an integration available for Google Ads Manager, BigQuery available. Now you have collected, you have analyzed, you have integrated. Now let's activate them. That's the last stage of the whole life cycle, that how you can do it. So you do have a multiple activation stages available for your first party data. You have audience definition. You can create a full funnel. We can have an advanced analysis as well. Cross channel is something where you can have an understanding of how the integrations are done, how my channels are performing, if user is coming from direct and then to make paid and then to referral maybe. So you can have a seamless integration enabled as well, so that you get an understanding of your current engagement with the users, that how exactly are they engaging with your website or content, right? So you get understanding of your audiences, get a full funnel, like from home page to the subscription page. Probably if that is one of the use case, you can get a full funnel as well. You can do some advanced analysis. For that, probably you will have to integrate, or probably have to link your GA4 account with GA4 property with BigQuery, so that you can shift the data from GA4 to BigQuery and get some advanced analysis directly from there. So this is one of the major use cases for GA4 to BigQuery, where you get some very detailed analysis. You can perform some statistical analysis as well. Like you can develop some models directly from BigQuery. For example, if you want to understand the lifetime value, or there is a very classic example of publishers where you can create a segments of loyal users, then probably flyby users, or brand lovers. You can create sub segments and understand what is the lifetime value. What is the lifetime value of brand lover? What is the lifetime value of a flyby user? Are they flying away from the website in just 1 or 2 days and not coming back in a month or so? So you can get some analysis directly, create some models from BigQuery. You can have some audiences as well. We can create a custom audiences with the unified data. You get some reporting directly from BigQuery as well. You can run some queries and understand what are the custom pathings. You can also have a cluster-based modeling, cross-device analysis, and customer journeys to take an understanding of how website is performing, how app is performing, and GA4, since it has web and app data, how each platform is performing, so that you can take some informed decisions on that. Last but not the least, and more important, is getting the alerts directly. So you can generate some real-time alerts to quickly update some marketing campaigns, try to understand how this happens. There is a difference between how GA3 worked and how GA4 works, but moreover, the concepts are same. There are some terminologies which have changed into GA4 that will try to explain in the Q&A round as well. But this is how you can leverage BigQuery for advanced use cases and get some exact reporting which you used to get into GA3, and get some actionables directly from there as well. So that was about how we currently work, and how GA4 collects the data, and how you can travel from getting the basic collection, then to have some analysis for the insights that we have done. Then we integrate the data, and then we also activate them based on the use cases. So this is how complete lifecycle works for GA4. And as a next part, I would like to highlight that how Tatvik has helped some publishers by performing some specific analysis that we have done. One of the use case here was the funnel analysis, where we helped them understand how the users are coming on from the home page to subscription, analyze the user drop-off. We analyzed that. We also identified the reasons for the drop-offs, and at the end, we were able to optimize the website and increase the subscription. The funnel analysis can be used here to get some values which we are aiming for. So that is one of the analysis that we have done. Apart from that, we can also perform some article performance analysis or author performance analysis. For example, we can analyze the top performing author based on the ROI and then identify the high paying ads to be placed for the top authors. Eventually, we'll be able to optimize the website ad revenue and increase the ROI. So now, remember when Virendra mentioned about how you can track the events. So now author's name will not automatically be tracked, and nor it will be into that recommended events. But you have an option of tracking into custom events, and you can track the name of the authors into GA4 and then try to analyze the how each author is performing and how you can bring which author is, if XYZ author is performing well, we can put it in the top or get some recommendation suggestions around it so that you can take some decisions on that, right? So that was about what we can do through GA4. There are some internal case studies that I would like to highlight. Is we had increased 100% increase in the user engagement by highlighting some free reads on the homepage, right? And some case studies which are published on the website is about the Punjab Kesari, where they leveraged and increased the monetized page view by 22% and revenue by 134% by using our author performance analysis. Another case study for TOI was we helped them get 25% increase in new users and 30% increase in the returning users by getting some user retention techniques, and we solved their challenge for them. So that was about what we did in general and about GA4. I hope I was able to convey what exactly you were looking for. Before we further move on to some specific questions from your end, we'd like to go ahead with the Q&As. Aditya, shall we go ahead with the Q&As, or do you want to add on to something?
No, we can go into the Q&As. Thank you, Abhijit and Virendra. The questions that we had shared from our survey, can we start off with those questions? Yes, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Sure. So Virendra will take up those questions. So we can take one by one and then.
Sure. So the first question, which was, so there's this list of questions which was shared by Aditya from you guys' hand. So the first question is, as compared to UA, there seems to be a major discrepancy in GA data for overall traffic. So, when we try to compare the data between GA4 and GA3, so the concept of tracking the data is same, but the definitions of the channels have changed. If you see in case of GA3, when there was just organic search where the medium is exactly organic, right? So every user will be attributed to the organic channel if its medium is organic. But in case of GA4, there are few other sets of organic, channels which fall under organic, such as organic shopping, organic social, organic videos, and organic search. So in GA3, there was just one medium of organic, one channel for organic, but in GA4, there is a different bifurcation to it. That is why, you might be facing these discrepancies in that particular. But if you analyze the data at the overall level, you will be able to analyze that. The next question is, the AMP pages is not tracking currently, and how can we track AMP pages? Correct. So we all know that, there was no, process of track AMP pages and Google Analytics, and also there is not such thing available in GA4. But there are many publishers find which we have worked on, and we have created our own custom solution for tracking the AMP pages, in which we provide you the custom script. There is a detailed document which Tatvik team provides you once you get onboarded with us, and with these processes, we will be able to track the data and get those hits for the AMP pages on GA itself. So I think the web stories pages and tracking is also a kind of an AMP part, and it falls under the AMP pages only. So for both of these, we will provide our custom solution. GA4 uses different methodology to measure an average session duration than GA3. So to answer this, the methodology of tracking the session duration in GA3 and GA4 is same. It's just that in case of GA4, there is a session _ start event which gets fired. And in case of GA3, there is a session ID gets generated once the session started. And the duration of the whole session till the session ends gets recorded in the GA4 and GA3 as well. What might be the reason here is, in case of GA4, is that the session underscore start event is not getting triggered properly because of the custom script. So we can check that if there's any particular use case for someone, but the logic behind calculating the session duration is same in both GA3 and GA4. Another query is we are seeing a huge difference between GA3 and GA4 page view matrices, which is why this is happening. Okay, so as you mentioned that in GA3 there are few AMP pages get collected automatically, but in GA4 there is a difference of getting the AMP pages. So the page views for AMP pages which gets collected in GA3 are not that easily gets collected in GA4, and that is why this discrepancy might be there. Another So another question is that GA4 already implemented, but have some queries related to some matrices not been captured in GA4. Gender. Okay. So to capture the data for gender, age, interest, and etc. in GA4, we need to enable the Google signals. Remember, we talked about the whole user identification journey, which help us to identify user based on demographic and geographic and gender and age. All those things will get captured and get rectified once we, turn on the Google signal. So if you have set up the GA4, then please make sure to turn on Google signal so as to have this data. Sure. Then is the country drill down. Now, so basically we understand that there was a reporting for the content drill down in GA3, and we do not have same in GA4. So to implement or to get the data for the content drill down in GA4 is what we can do is that we can create one custom parameter where we will be able to tag the details of the content. So for example, if someone is landed on the home page and from there it goes to the section of markets and want to analyze the market performance and want to check the updates on market on your website, then what we can do is that we can pass one custom dimension where all those categories of articles will be captured, such as market, entertainment, news, agency, and all. And in the another dimension where we'll pass the article name, we will be able to capture that in that particular market, section, which article or which kind of interaction that user performs. So with the help of custom dimensions, custom parameters, and custom event tracking, we will be able to unify the picture or clarify the picture more in detail for the content drill down.
So I'd like to add one thing there is how to understand the content drill down is, if we understand the question correctly, is it is about how users are going from reaching from one content to another content and then to another content, right? If that is the meaning of this content drill down, that means that there is an already available feature of pathing exploration where you can understand the paths of your users and try to understand what is the next step that they're taking. For example, if a user has landed on home, what is the user doing after home, right? Are they going on to some entertainment category? Or if you want to understand how entertainment category user works, behaves, then you can select the first step as /entertainment. If that's a part of the URL, you can build some logic around it and have /entertainment, and then see what users are doing after entertainment pages has been checked upon. So that is one thing that we can check. Apart from that, you also have an option to see the second step as an event or as a page. If you have an event specified on it, then you can also see event page combination as well, where you can try to understand user behavior on that. So if there is a question of content drill down, if it's around user behavior on the website or app, you can surely use pathing exploration reports and try to understand the content drill down there. That is one way of how you can understand the content drill down. If we want to understand how what are the user behaviors on a specific content, for example, user has reading any XYZ page, what is the session duration, what is the scroll depth, or what is the another parameters of engagement metrics, if that is the content drill down that we are checking, then probably there are n number of reports that you can create based on the exact requirement that we have and get the data from there. The only thing that we have to make sure is there should be an accurate tracking which is possible on the website and app. Maintain some sanity and make sure that data gets collected and have a weekly checkup on that, and then thoroughly you can understand the content and take some actions on it.
Yeah, sure. So the next question is that if I'm already using another property for collecting data for mobile app from mobile app, will I be able to view both mobile app and web data together on board or through the engagement API? So yes, so basically there is no such thing we need to implement as an API for GA4. So GA4 itself provides us the feature of web stream and app stream to us, which we can create on the singular property, and we can analyze the whole data in a singular dashboard for both app and web. All you need to do is that you need to configure your web stream with the help of GTM, and the app streams will be configured with the SDK, Firebase SDK. So to have the accurate picture across platforms for a particular user, all you need to do is to set up your property with the help of GTM and with the Firebase, and create those streams in the Google Analytics. Google Analytics provides us the feature to do that. And once we have that stream created, we will have the data for both app and web getting tracked in GA4 in the singular dashboard itself. Now, when it comes to the to unify the user or to analyze the data just for that particular app or web, then what we can do is that in any of our dashboards, we can create the custom reports, and we can add the filter of streams to it. So if I wanted to analyze the user retention rate or user engagement rate for a particular article or app and web, so as to understand that how this article is well received on web and app, what we can do is that we can have those article names in our custom report. We can have the engagement rate, we can have the session duration, page views, we can have the bounce rate, all that with the filter of streams. And with this, we will be able to analyze that how a particular article or how the particular content is performing on the web and app or on the mobile view also. This will help us to analyze that where my user is more lean towards or more interested to read my content. So yeah, so there is no need to create any API around it. It's just that GA4 itself provides the feature of collecting the data through streams. Another question is that what will happen exactly to the affected API shared before, and what changes do we again? I think the above question and this question are both same. There is no need for an API. GA4 itself provides us the platform to track both streams data in a singular dashboard, in a singular property. Yeah, so that sums up our session for the already established Q&A.
Right. So before we move ahead and have that, since there were 8-9 questions and then probably there were multiple things that we said about, just wanted to brush it up again. So the first question was, as compared to UA, there seems to be major discrepancy. So, and how can we resolve this? So answer for that was, it is because of the different logics that there are in GA4, and there are some mediums which are which have been changed. When I say mediums, it's about the source medium channel attribution that has happened. So there are some things which are related to this. So that is the reason that when you cannot compare directly apple to apple comparison between GA3 to GA4, it's not even ideal. There will be some discrepancies. If there are major discrepancies, there might be some XYZ reasons on it. But the main reasons that even Google says about that is about the conditions of the source medium that has been changed. And that is the reason behind the major discrepancy, right? That is the first, just brushing up the first question. Second and third is about the AMP pages not tracking currently and how we can track AMP pages. So currently there is no inbuilt solution directly provided by Google on this, but there are some custom solutions that Tattvik has internally created, and we can surely implement and track AMP pages so that we can get some accurate tracking. Then the fourth question was, GA4 uses different methodology to measure an average session duration than GA3, right? So we needed a clarity on what is on right. Changing this metric is right away to measure the average session duration, or is it kind of inflating the same? So it's not about inflating the session duration. So now when we count session duration, previously whenever a user landed on a page, session started. But in GA4 now, since everything is an event here, even there is an event called a session start, right? that gets automatically tracked. When we are looking at the slides in the beginning, Vilendra mentioned about automatically collected events, which are session start, first visit. Those are the events. So GA4 calculates the session start when that specific event gets triggered. So it is not about inflating or this gets changed or the logic has been changed. But yes, there have been certain changes because now it has moved from a sessions level to event level data in GA4. This is how the change will happen, and you will be able to see some change of some matrices for engagement and other matrices of users and sessions as well, right? So that is the clarity. I hope we were able to convey that. Then we are able to also see a huge difference between GA3 and GA4 page view matrices metrics. It is actually because of the logic again that this is happening, that you will not be able to exactly compare apple to apple between GA3 and GA4 because of the event level collection model that has been replaced in GA4. So another one was GA4 already implemented but have some queries. So you can actually enable Google Signals, and you will be able to get gender and age into GA4. Content drill down, we discussed about pathing exploration reports that you can surely refer and get some understanding there. And already using another property for collecting data from mobile app, yes, you can have that enabled into. You can get a web stream there and get a unified data directly into that property. And what will happen exactly to the affected APIs? So that's not a problem. You can still get the data directly from those APIs into GA4 as well. So I hope you were able to answer all the queries. Maulik, do you want to take that up?
Abhijit, before we move to the next session, I think the audience has a few questions. We should address those questions as well. Before I hand over to Jim to voice these questions on behalf of our audience, could you tell us a little bit more on the AMP solution that Tatvik is providing to track AMP analytics?
Yeah, sure. So basically, what we do is that we all are aware about the page views which is getting fired for the normal pages, but that same is not getting tracked them for the AMP pages.
Correct.
So what Tatvik does is that with this custom script, we fire the page views on that particular pages, which help us to analyze the data in more granular level. So what we does is that we fires the VPVs, and with those VPVs, we are able to collect the data for the AMP pages.
Have you noticed any change in page performance with this added implementation?
No, there is no such thing as a page performance. So basically, when we talk about AMP pages, there are two things. Which one is called the Google hosted AMP pages, and another one is self-hosted AMP pages, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about the Google hosted AMP pages, so there are few things which Google recommend to follow if the pages is under the category of Google hosted AMP pages. If those things are keep intact, then there is no such thing as there issues of views and matrices have changed.
All right. Thank you. Jim, over to you. Could you please take over the questions that we've got so far?
Sure. Thanks, Adi. Selected a few questions from the list we've got. Abhijit, the audience wanted to understand how we can calculate page load time, since GA4 doesn't calculate that. Also, if there are platforms or tools, we can recommend them to calculate page speeds.
Okay. So to calculate page speeds, there are some external tools which are available. Page speed insights, which is sponsored by Google, you can use that as well. There can be some custom scripts that you can enable for calculating page load time. There you can also pass a custom metric known as, for example, you can push a custom metric at the start of the event and start of the page view, and at the end of the page view, like second page view has been triggered. So you can pass a custom metric there and try to understand the difference between the time frame of those two events, and try to get the number there. For example, I started a page view at 0th second, so you pass an event there. Then when a new page view gets fired, pass another custom metric, name is 5th second or 5 seconds there. Then the page load time, or how much time it gets triggered, you can calculate that. That is another workaround that you can solve. Apart from that, you can always use the Google sponsored pagespeedinsights.com. You can get some understanding there as well. And apart from that, you can also leverage some custom scripts you can build. We have some internal solutions as well on getting the page load time. There are some scripts that we can implement on the website and try to get the page load time for specific page or even complete website as well.
Thank you, Abhijit. Another question was, once we connect Google Ad Manager with GA4, what will be a part of this report? Do we get all the earnings in the GA report?
Yeah, so once you connect the Google Analytics with the Google Ads, there is one custom Google Ad Manager with the Google Analytics. So basically, few of the matrices and the data will start of the Google Ad Manager will start flowing into the GA4, and with the help of Explorer reports, we will be able to map the users and articles to the revenue which gets on. So basically, if we are running any ad in the Google Ad Manager and we want to see that from that particular ad, how many users have landed on that particular landing page, and from there, how many are getting converted for subscription. All those things can be analyzed with the help of Explorer report options.
You can also link your Google Ad Manager with BigQuery and then try to connect GA data and GAM data. And then if you want to push some audiences from GAM to BigQuery, that is also one way you can leverage your data from GA to GAM and then get some actions on it.
Thanks,
Will
Abhijit.
we get revenue data on the same Google Analytics platform without having to visit Google Ad Manager?
Yes, we will be able to analyze the data in Google Analytics itself without getting into the Google Ad Manager or Google Ads.
I think Adi, that's it. We can move on.
Okay.
All right, Maulin, I think over to you then.
Yeah, sure. Just wanted to add, there are a few links that I'll share it with this deck. If you want to have a visit on the blogs or get some more info, you can surely visit these links and get in touch. Yeah,
perfect. So thank you, Abhijit and Vilendra, for your time on the call. And hello, everyone. So I am Maulin. I'm a part of a customer development team at Tatvik. And I'll be quickly taking you through the Tatvik introduction and the service offerings that we are into. So like talking about Tatvik, we are a full stack Google premium partner. And by full stack, I mean Google Cloud and Google Marketing partner. And we come with a rich experience of now 14 years in the field of analytics. And we have helped a lot of brands to implement their Google Analytics and migrate them from the previous version of analytics to the newer version, which is a GA4, like we were talking about. In terms of the team strength, then we are a strong team of 250 people, and we are headquartered in Gujarat, Ahmedabad, and we have our establishment in Asia Pacific, North America, and Middle East region. In terms of programmatic capability, so since we are a Google Premium partner, we have a partner level access of DV360, which is a demand side platform of Google, and we help a lot of brands to manage campaign for them. And in terms of cloud for marketing solutions, so we work on many customized use cases. We take a help of BigQuery as a Google data warehouse, and we build a customized model on the top of it and help solve many of the custom use cases. In terms of CRO program, which is a conversion rate optimization program, so this is mostly focusing on increasing the conversions for your app and web. So I'll just take you through it in the very next slide, where we have the service offering. So like you could see that in terms of service offering, so right from laying the foundation to optimizing your marketing funnel at all the 3 levels. So we help you out with that. Laying the foundation is mostly talking about the Google Analytics 4 right now that we were previously talking about. So we help you to implement GA4 entirely so that the data starts getting collected. In terms of platform audits, so yeah, we do media and analytics platform audit as well, and we provide the training for the same. When we talk about top of the funnel, so we are mostly managing the media campaigns for a lot of brands in terms of remarketing campaigns or the campaigns over DV360, Google Ads, Facebook Ads, Insta Ads, and then similar platforms and similar domains. And when we talk about middle of the funnel, it talks about more towards the analytics implementation and then working towards some of the advanced use cases basically predictive modeling. So this is like a propensity modeling where we try to identify that what are the kind of churns or purchase probability that you could see in the future. In terms of web and app personalization, so we have this product and content recommendation engines as well. And like you would be knowing about that, the cookies are going to deprecate in the future. So there's a lot of need of customer data platform and getting most out of your first party data. So we are in touch with many of the brands and helping them to identify a 360-degree view of the customer and building a CDP model for them. In terms of bottom of the funnel, it is about the CRO program. So CRO program is basically helping you out to increase the conversions for your web and app. So here what we do is we try to identify the qualitative and quantitative aspects. Qualitative aspects would cover the UI UX changes and certain principles laid down by Bain and company. And in terms of quantitative aspect, we take GA data. We build different hypotheses based on that, keeping your business objective in center. And we help you to increase conversions. In terms of reporting and dashboards, so we have helped a lot of brands to create customized reports and dashboards as per their need over the different platforms. And when I talk about advanced analytic solutions in the bottom of the funnel, it's mostly about lead scoring, lifetime value. So basically here we are helping out to identify the hot or cold leads that are coming onto your platform. And we are also helping them to predict that what is the kind of spend a particular user would be making with your brand in the coming next year. Yeah, so that was it, and overview about the kind of service offerings that we have. Feel free to get in touch with any of us if you have any of the interest and you want us to take a detailed presentation about it.
Thank you, Abhijit, Maulin, and Vilendra. Thank you so much for all the insights you've given us. Jim, are there any other questions that we can take from the audience?
Nothing.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for making this a successful webinar. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking on the time. We hope this webinar addressed all your questions. If you have further questions and you need clarification on anything around GA4, please feel free to contact your support team, support@quintype.com. We're also available on chat through the chatbot that's there on your Bold application. Please feel free to get in touch with me, Aditya, your host. We're happy to resolve any questions that you might have around GA4. With that, I'd like to conclude today's webinar. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day.